Hey everyone, it's Roy again with SpecFreq dev video number 12. In this video, I'm going to focus on the coming updates for the demo, which is going to be released on March 29th. That is next Friday. Um, I might release it sooner. I'm really antsy to release it, but I don't need to give myself time to just make sure things are tested and doing well. I have an awesome set of testers on Discord that have been giving me great feedback. So I'm really excited to release the demo. Right now, March 29th is the set date. I can't promise I won't release it sooner, but we'll see. But go ahead and wishlist the game if you want to be notified as soon as I release it. So I'm just going to jump right on into all the updates that we have. So first off, this new account screen. So for those of you that are part of the playtest, you probably recognize this one right here, where you can log in with the username and password because you've been able to create an account. In the demo game, users won't be able to persist their stats for too long. Right now I have it set to reset the stats every 2 days. I might change it in the future, we'll see. Right now it's every 2 days. You also don't have to register an account. So in demo, you can enter whatever account name that you want. Your account will be prepended with this little D for demo, right? And so you click that and you join on in. And now you're going to use that for any zone that you play. Other big update I made, this is probably more on the nerdy side. The ability to run 2 zones at the same time on the same server. So right here you see I have Combat Training Zone, formerly known as Training Zone. I like the name Combat Training Zone, it's a lot cooler. And Warzone Charlie, which is a zone that you've seen in most of my previous other videos. This was a matter of just kind of making sure that the load balancer and the chat server and the regular server are deconflicting data and config files and ports and all that stuff. And I mainly wanted, I think in most cases you would probably run zones on different servers, but I wanted the option to be able to run most everything on the same server. So anyway, we're going to jump into Combat Training Zone first. We're going to look at some of the updates that we've done for this. So this won't look too different to y'all. The biggest change will be, look up here, where my mouse in the top left corner. Notice that switch from a Warzone style, where it's everybody versus themselves, to capture the flag. So I made some like small map updates. I had a little alley over here, but now you have flags in the game. The first flag here in the top right. Players will have to, build a base around the flag. They did add an engineering class to the Combat Training Zone now, so that way you can build turrets and walls and stuff like that. And there's another flag and a new area I added. So first off, notice the map doesn't look too different, right? There's some minor updates like lighting. But the map always ended down here where the mountains are. But notice the gap here in the mountains. So if you go down here, I thought this would be cool to implement. So now instead of the map cutting off here, you kind of go into this little like valley / cave area. But notice on the map, there's nothing here. Thought it'd be cool to make this area off map, so that way you don't get as much SA as to what's going on down here. It kind of gives a little bit more effect of like the Wild Wild West, and that you can't see what's going on. In the future, when I start adding players, or like friendly and enemy players to the minimap, when I start adding flags and other things in here, I think it'll be cool to have areas where you can't see where they're being updated down there. So that's that update. I'm going to jump into the game. I made some small updates in this like kind of little training area here. Nothing too crazy. I wonder if I can find one. I can't find it anywhere. I thought I updated part of this. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna pick a weapon here. Let's jump on in. Oh, that's right. It's right here, and I'll show you what that is in a sec. So what? No, okay. Let's move on. So next update is vehicle physics. So when I released the last update, I honestly don't know what I did. And the crazy thing is, I version control everything. Every single update to the game is checked in. It's tagged. Anytime I finish a feature, I check it in. Somehow in the last update, I broke vehicles. I think it was even in one of the bugs that was in one of my videos where you saw like I think I couldn't drive a tank or something. I don't know what I did. So as I was fixing it, I realized that I didn't really like the vehicle physics of the game anyway. And so about a couple years ago, one of the first games I made in Godot was called Raccoon Racing League. And it was a game where you were a raccoon. And I wanted to be like one-touch racing because it's really fun and it's just a good way to kill time, on your phone. And I made some awesome vehicle physics where you could set like drag and you could set drift settings and all kinds of stuff for vehicles. So instead of just trying to figure out what I did to break the vehicles, which again still blows my mind that I couldn't figure it out, because again, everything's checked in, I decided to port all the physics from that over. So what does that mean? For normal vehicles, you probably won't notice too much of a difference like this APC and tanks because they're going to drive the same. A little bit in that, you can reverse a little bit better than the previous vehicles could, but for the most part, they're the same. But for vehicles, like for this little side by side, they can drift, which is kind of cool. And then you can set like at what speed they drift, as well as like how much traction they have at high speed and at low speed. So I thought that'd be kind of fun thing to add. I'm gonna drive this little dude around here. We'll check out this little map area. You've seen capture the flag in my previous video, so it's nothing new. You get the little once you're in the flag area, you get the little thing here. I don't want the Wolverine's twin just yet. Let's drive out of this area. Let's see what else was added. We can go to the alley that I added. So this is just a fun little alley in the game to add a different dynamic. I don't think you can fit the side. Oh, you can fit the side by side in here. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, so vehicle physics have been updated. Pretty awesome. I have a couple mod vehicles that are really fast, and so I might throw them in the game here and there just for fun. All right, next thing I added. I had a couple requests to add some chat commands. I'm just going to show them here. I'm not going to do all the commands right now, but you have now the ability to join a team just from chat. I'm going to add more commands over time. And that way, if you don't want to go to the join team thing that's here when you're in spec, you can kind of do that all from chat. The next thing I added, so you remember there's game options here. I think the music and sound effects was here last time. It probably was. But this is new. So obviously, I want the ability to be able to remap controls. And so now you can do, this is just like any other game you want. You click a button, press a key, it gets remapped, right? It stores your settings, so when you load the game, your maps stay the same. The other thing this does is it kind of shows features in the game, like when I add binoculars. Now you have to add a button to binoculars, right? Here's immersive mode, and here's macros, which I'll talk about in a few minutes here. And so right now it's just keyboard control mapping. In a future update, I'm going to add controller controls, which is a very redundant and fun thing to say. So that way, if you're playing with a game controller, if you're playing on Steam Deck or with an Xbox controller or whatever, you can remap these controls to whatever buttons you want. It's a little bit more work than the keyboard controls. I wanted to at least start with keyboard controls so we have something out there. Okay, macros. So we saw them down here. What are macros? So I'm going to press F4. So these are keyboard commands or keyboard or text or whatever chat commands that you can send whenever you want. So, for example, when you get killed, I don't have another player logged on here because this is my local machine. But when someone kills you, this little % killed % value will be set to their name. When you kill someone, this little killer value will be set to, I had that reversed. The person you kill will be killed. The person who killed you will be killer. And then the person selected in the playlist will be selected. So let's test this. Let's update macro number 4. And I'm going to, hopefully my keyboard's not too loud. By the way, this says, I haven't tested selected, so it's not my fault if it doesn't break. So we see this is a 3, so that's macro number 3, which is F7. I'm going to select my name, press F7, and there you go. You can see it down here. It says hi, D/dangers. Kill macros are fun. I mean, the macros are fun in general because if you kill someone or someone kills you, you can just press, F5 through F8, run a macro. Just a fun little thing to add to the game, right? Eventually, I'll add more. Like, for example, one of the things I'd want to add is, let me just go up there. So when you, oops, I got stuck behind that vehicle. When you go up to these terminals to buy stuff, I want to add macros so that way you can buy whatever you want through the macro. So you don't always have to go in here. It'll be just something like, question mark buy, the ammo type and the ammo amount. And as long as you're next to one of these terminals, it'll let you kind of buy it. So I'll increase the macro capability in the future. For now, I just want to get like the basics out there and kind of get that started. So we had something there. So I think that's it. Talked about combat training zone. Oh, that's right. Wait, one more thing. So let's go back to spec. All right, cool. I'm done playing combat training zone. I want to try out a new zone. So I'm going to change my server. Because I'm a demo, it never logs me in. If I had my actual account, I could log in, but let's log in there. Warzone Charlie. So remember before I was in combat training zone. Now let's go to Warzone Charlie. And in a second, there's Warzone Charlie for you. So do you guys remember this map? This is like my big full game map, which has a lot of stuff in it. Actually, this has I'm gonna pull an audible. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I think the mod vehicles are in. Oh, they are. So when I was younger and wife and I both working, we didn't have kids. I got to have like cool toys, and one of those was an awesome 2003 Corvette Z06. And my kid is awesome, but you can't really have a two-seater car when you have a kid in a car seat. And so my way to recreate that experience was I put the car in the game. Let's drive up to it. Let's use it. Okay. So here's my little Corvette. It was an awesome little track car. I think I made it really fast. Oh yeah, and I made it drift. Yeah, so you can see the drifting here. Eventually, I'll add some cool like particle effects. So that way, like as you drift, the particles will kind of go around. I think that'll be a pretty fun thing to add. Yeah, this guy's pretty quick. So you can see this is why it's a mod vehicle, right? Because this is faster than anything else in the game. It doesn't really have a good use. When I do release Warzone Charlie to the masses, like all these vehicles not in there will not be in there. Here's a charger. I guess I'm gonna update the settings. But I mean these not as fast as the Z06, so it's no big deal. What are the vehicles? Did I update the van? The van might be still super slow. Yeah, the van is still super slow. What about the semi? Yeah, semi is about right. I think these guys have a lot more momentum. Anyway, that was an audible. It worked. No crashes. Um, I actually, is this the first video where I didn't have a bug live? That's pretty awesome. All right, everyone. Appreciate you watching. I'm going to cut this video out. Please come join us on Discord. The community's growing. There's a lot of awesome people on there providing me really good feedback to the game. Um, those dudes and dudettes can attest to the fact that I am constantly taking feedback and adding their stuff in the game because it's helping make the game better each time. I'll put a link to our Discord down in the video description. I'll put a link to the game down in the video description up on Steam. Remember, the demo's coming out March 29th. If you wish list and I end up releasing it sooner, you'll find out when I do it sooner. It might be Wednesday. I might not be able to wait till Friday, but we'll see. I need to get like to a code freeze so that way I'm not constantly updating till the last second. But everyone, this is Roy. Thanks again for watching SpecFreq Dev video number 12. I'll catch you all later.